Recently, I asked how many level 0 villagers would it take to defeat a red dragon in its mountainous lair. GameMasters here, and while the answers were all over the map, and none were wrong by the way, among one of the more entertaining ones was to simply blow up the mountain. And that got me thinking, how many hit points would that dragon's mountain have in Dungeons & Dragons? How much damage would you have to do to completely obliterate it? To determine this, we've got to get a little creative. And I've poured through each edition's Dungeons Master's Guide, and there is very little to get us started. However, on page 60 of 3rd edition's book, we have this fun little table, 3-9 walls. It tells us that the 5th type down is unworked stone. Yeah, we got to make a little bit of an assumption here, because ultimately there is grass and trees probably on the mountain, but we're going to assume that the mountain itself is rock or unworked stone. We can see that a 5 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot section has 900 hit points. From here it's fairly easy to calculate, but we first need to define how big our mountain is. So for comparison, we'll use Mount Everest. In height it's about 5.5 miles. For a good round number, we're going to round that down to 5 miles. Next we need to know how wide its base is, which is roughly 12 miles. Now because it's a mountain, it's cone shaped, and again we'll go on a slight assumption here that it's got a circular base and comes to a point. Now, we need to calculate the volume of rock in that mountain. So we'll use the formula to determine the volume of a cone, which is 1/3 height pi r squared. So plugging in the numbers, the 5 miles and 12 miles, that gives us 753.98 cubic miles. We'll round that up to 754 cubic miles. Next, we need to convert that 754 cubic miles to cubic feet. There is 147,200,000,000 cubic feet and 1 cubic mile. So that times 754 cubic miles gives us 111 trillion cubic feet. Now let's go back to our block, the 5 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot block from our table, and it calculates out to be 500 cubic feet. Divide that by our 111 trillion and we get a total of 222 billion blocks of unworked stone. Now multiply that by 900 hit points each, and we get that the mountain has 199,800,000,000,000 hit points. Dude, your math is wrong. You kind of forgot that the dragon's lair was inside, so that's not really a solid cone. That's a little bit hollow in there too.